Look around you. In every bathroom, in every medicine cabinet, there is a tiny, fragile promise of relief. A bottle of Tums for that stomach acid, a foil packet of Advil for that headache, a tube of Neosporin for a scraped knee. We rely on them without thinking. They are the most basic, assumed safety nets of the modern world. But the moment the financial system collapses, the moment the trucks stop running, the moment the global supply chain finally breaks, those pharmacy shelves, the ones that are already struggling to stay stocked, they will be empty, and they won't refill. This isn't about expensive prescription drugs. This is about basic human comfort. You will still get cuts. You will still get stomach acid. You will still get headaches. And for the first time in your life, you will have nowhere to turn. When the pills run out, what do? The answer is not a shelf-stable prep kit. The answer is knowledge. For 200 years, your ancestors knew exactly how to treat these common ailments using nothing more than the contents of their kitchen or backyard. This is the lost knowledge the modern world was engineered to forget. Today, I'm giving you back that knowledge. This is the 8 forgotten medicine secrets you need to stockpile when pills run out. And stick around till the end, because I'm giving you a bonus remedy, a winter survival secret for getting massive amounts of vitamin C when nothing else grows and scurvy becomes a real threat. Let's start with the one thing guaranteed to cause pain in a crisis: an empty stomach. Number 1, baking soda for acid reflux and stomach pain. When the system collapses, your stress levels will spike. Sleep will be erratic. Food quality will be inconsistent. Maybe you're eating preserved rations. Maybe you're cooking over an open fire. Either way, your stomach is going to rebel. Acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, these aren't just uncomfortable. They're debilitating when you need to stay focused and functional. The modern solution is Tums, Rolaids, Pepto-Bismol, antacids that neutralize stomach acid. When those shelves are empty, you need sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. Here's how it works. Mix half a teaspoon of baking soda in 4 ounces of water. Drink it slowly. The sodium bicarbonate neutralizes excess stomach acid almost immediately. It's the same chemical mechanism as those pink chalky tablets, except this costs pennies and lasts indefinitely in your pantry. And here's the forgotten history. Before pharmaceutical companies turned antacids into a billion-dollar industry, baking soda was the standard remedy in the 1800s. Doctors recommended it. Families kept it on hand. It was cheap, effective, and universally understood. Then the marketing machine convinced us we needed branded pills instead of a 50-cent box of powder. The catch? Don't overuse it. High sodium intake can mess with your electrolytes if you're chugging this stuff daily, but for occasional relief when your stomach is rioting and there's no pharmacy to bail you out, baking soda is your lifeline. Stock it, learn it, use it. Number 2, salt water and raw honey for wound care. In a collapse scenario, minor injuries become major threats. A scraped knee, a cut from breaking down firewood, a blister that tears open, these are not just painful, they're infection risks. And when there's no rubbing alcohol, no Neosporin, no emergency room to run to, a simple infected cut can kill you. Your ancestors knew this. That's why they relied on 2 of the oldest antiseptics on the planet, salt and honey. Salt water saline solution is incredibly simple. Dissolve 1 teaspoon of salt in 2 cups of boiled and cooled water. Use it to flush wounds, clean debris, and reduce bacterial load. It stings, but it works. Sailors used it for centuries because it was always available and it kept wounds from festering on long voyages. But here's where it gets fascinating. Raw honey is one of the most powerful natural antibiotics ever discovered. The ancient Egyptians used honey to dress wounds over 3,000 years ago, long before anyone understood bacteria or infection. They just knew it worked. Modern science now knows why. Honey has natural hydrogen peroxide, low pH, and hygroscopic properties that literally pull moisture out of bacterial cells and kill them. It creates a protective barrier, reduces inflammation, and accelerates healing. There are documented cases of hospitals using medical-grade honey to treat antibiotic-resistant infections when nothing else works. So here's your protocol. Flush the wound with saline. Pat it dry. Apply a thin layer of raw, unprocessed honey. Cover it with a clean cloth. Change the dressing daily. This isn't some fringe folk remedy, this is battlefield medicine that predates modern pharmaceuticals by millennia. Stock raw honey. It never spoils. And when the antibiotic ointments are gone, it might be the only thing standing between you and sepsis. Number 3. Willow bark for headaches and pain relief. Pain is constant in a survival scenario. Physical labor, stress, dehydration, poor sleep, your body will ache. And the first time you reach for that bottle of Advil or Tylenol and find it empty, you'll realize how much you took NSAIDs for granted. The forgotten solution is willow bark. It's the original aspirin. For thousands of years, Native American tribes chewed willow bark to relieve pain and reduce fever. They didn't know the science, they just knew it worked. What they were using was salicylic acid, the active compound that pharmaceutical companies later isolated and synthesized into aspirin in the late 1800s. You can buy dried willow bark online or harvest it yourself from willow trees. To use it, simmer 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried bark in 2 cups of water for 10 to 15 minutes. Strain it and drink it as tea. It tastes bitter, earthy, and astringent, but within 30 to 45 minutes, the pain dulls. This isn't as fast-acting as popping 2 Advil, and it's not as concentrated, but it works. And when you have no other options, it's the difference between suffering through a splitting headache and being functional enough to think clearly and make decisions. The catch: don't use willow bark if you're allergic to aspirin. And like aspirin, it can thin your blood slightly, so avoid it if you're already dealing with an injury that's bleeding. But for general aches, tension headaches, and minor inflammation, this is nature's pharmacy, and it's been there the whole time. Number 4, ginger root for digestive issues and nausea. When the food supply destabilizes, your stomach will be the first casualty. You'll eat things you're not used to. You'll deal with contaminated water. You'll experience stress-induced nausea and digestive chaos. And the go-to modern solutions, Pepto-Bismol, Modium, Tums, will be long gone from the shelves. The forgotten cure is ginger root. Fresh, dried, powdered, it doesn't matter. Ginger is one of the most effective natural remedies for nausea, motion sickness, indigestion, and even mild food poisoning. Here's the history. Chinese sailors used ginger over 2,000 years ago to prevent seasickness on long voyages. It wasn't superstition, it was survival. Modern studies have confirmed what they already knew. Ginger contains compounds like gingerol and shogaol that calm the stomach, reduce inflammation in the gut, and block nausea signals in the brain. To use it, slice a thumb-sized piece of fresh ginger root and steep it in boiling water for 10 minutes. Drink it warm. If you're dealing with severe nausea, chew on a small piece of raw ginger. It's intense, but it works fast. If you have powdered ginger, half a teaspoon in warm water will do the job. This isn't just for upset stomachs. Ginger can help with bloating, gas, cramps, and even mild diarrhea. It's one of those universal digestive aids that should be in every survival pantry. Dried ginger lasts for years. Fresh ginger root can be stored for weeks in a cool, dry place. When your gut is in rebellion and there's no pink bottle to save you, ginger is your answer. Real quick, if you're watching this and thinking, this is the kind of knowledge I need to survive what's coming, then hit that subscribe button right now. This channel isn't about fear-mongering or selling you overpriced survival kits. It's about equipping you with the skills and knowledge that make you independent when the system fails. We're building a community of people who refuse to be helpless when the trucks stop running. If that's you, subscribe. Let's keep going. Number 5, oatmeal for burns and skin irritation. Burns happen. In a grid-down scenario, you're cooking over open flames, handling hot metal, dealing with makeshift heating sources. A slip, a splash of boiling water, a brush against a hot pan, and suddenly you're dealing with a painful burn and no access to burn cream or hydrocortisone. The forgotten remedy is oatmeal. Specifically colloidal oatmeal, finely ground oats that dissolve in water. This isn't some new age wellness trend. The FDA classified colloidal oatmeal as a skin protectant decades ago because it actually works. Oats contain compounds called avenanthramides that reduce inflammation, soothe irritated skin, and create a protective barrier that locks in moisture and promotes healing. For minor burns, make a paste by mixing finely ground oatmeal with cool water. Apply it gently to the burn and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. The cooling effect reduces pain, and the oat compounds calm the inflammatory response. For larger areas or skin irritation, think rashes, eczema flare-ups, poison ivy, add a cup of finely ground oats to a lukewarm bath and soak. This is the same principle behind all those expensive oatmeal-based lotions and bath products, except you're doing it yourself for pennies, with something you can grow or store indefinitely. And here's the bonus. Oatmeal is food. It's calorie-dense, shelf-stable, and multi-purpose. It feeds you and it heals you. That's the kind of efficiency you need when resources are scarce. Stock oats. Learn how to use them beyond breakfast. When the burn creams are gone, this is what you reach for. Number 6. Clove oil for toothaches and gum pain. Dental pain is one of the most excruciating, disabling types of pain you can experience. And in a collapse scenario, there are no dentists, no emergency clinics, no Oragel or numbing gels to dull the agony of an infected tooth or swollen gums. The forgotten solution is clove oil. And it's not folk medicine, it's actual dental science. Cloves contain a compound called eugenol, which is a natural anesthetic and antiseptic. Dentists still use eugenol today in temporary fillings and dental cement because it numbs pain and kills bacteria. Your ancestors didn't know the chemistry, but they knew that biting down on a clove or applying clove oil to a bad tooth brought relief. To use it, soak a cotton ball or small cloth in clove oil and place it directly on the affected tooth or gum. The numbing effect is almost immediate. If you don't have clove oil, you can chew on a whole clove. It's less concentrated, but it still works. The catch: clove oil is strong. Don't swallow it in large amounts, and avoid getting it on healthy gums or tongue tissue because it can cause irritation. But for targeted pain relief, when you're dealing with a toothache that's keeping you awake at night and you have no other options, clove oil is a lifesaver. Stock a small bottle. It lasts for years. And when you're in unbearable dental pain with no pharmacy, no dentist, and no relief in sight, you'll be grateful you have it. Number 7. Onion and garlic syrup for coughs and congestion. Respiratory issues are brutal in a survival scenario. Cold weather, poor air quality from wood smoke, stress on your immune system. You're going to deal with coughs, chest congestion, and respiratory infections. And the modern go-tos, cough syrup, Vicks VapoRub, decongestants, will be gone. The forgotten remedy is onion and garlic syrup. It sounds absurd. It smells awful. But it works. Here's why. Onions and garlic are packed with sulfur compounds, allicin, quercetin, and others that have natural antibacterial, antiviral, and expectorant properties. These compounds help break up mucus, reduce inflammation in the airways, and boost your immune response. Folk medicine has used this for centuries, and modern science is finally catching up and confirming what grandmothers always knew. To make it, slice 1 onion and a few cloves of garlic thinly. Layer them in a jar with raw honey. Let it sit for 6 to 8 hours. The honey will pull the juices out and create a thick syrup. Take 1 to 2 teaspoons of the syrup every few hours when you're dealing with a cough or congestion. It tastes intense, pungent, sweet, medicinal. But within a day, you'll notice the mucus loosening and the cough becoming more productive. That's your body clearing out the infection. This isn't a miracle cure for pneumonia or severe illness, but for the common cold, bronchitis, or a nasty cough that won't quit, this is the remedy that kept people functional before cough syrup was invented. Stock onions, garlic, and honey. All 3 are survival staples anyway. And when the pharmacy shelves are bare and you're hacking up a lung, you'll know exactly what to do. Number 8. Chamomile and valerian root for sleep and anxiety. Sleep deprivation will destroy you faster than hunger. In a collapse scenario, your stress levels will be off the charts. Your adrenaline will be spiking constantly. Your mind will race with worst-case scenarios and survival calculations. And sleep, real restorative sleep, will become nearly impossible. The modern solution is over-the-counter sleep aids like Benadryl or melatonin. When those are gone, you need chamomile and valerian root. Chamomile is the gentler option. It's been used for centuries as a calming tea. It contains apigenin, a compound that binds to receptors in your brain and promotes relaxation and drowsiness. It's mild, it's safe, and it's effective for easing anxiety and helping you fall asleep. Valerian root is the heavy hitter. It's stronger, more sedative, and has a long history of use in Europe during times of crisis. During World War II, people used valerian root tea to manage stress and anxiety during air raids. It works by increasing GABA levels in the brain, the same mechanism as prescription anxiety medications, just far less potent. To use them, steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried chamomile or valerian root in hot water for 10 minutes. Drink it 30 minutes before bed. Chamomile tastes floral and pleasant. Valerian root tastes earthy and slightly unpleasant. But if you're desperate for sleep, you won't care. The catch: don't combine valerian root with alcohol or other sedatives, and don't expect instant knockout power like a prescription sleep aid. This is gentle, natural sedation that helps your body ease into rest. Stock both. Dried chamomile and valerian root last for years, and when your mind won't shut off and you need sleep to survive, these are your only options. And now for that bonus I promised you, the winter survival secret for vitamin C scurvy. It sounds like something from a pirate movie, but it's a real threat in any prolonged survival scenario where fresh food disappears. Vitamin C deficiency leads to bleeding gums, weakness, slow wound healing, and eventually death. And in the dead of winter, when nothing grows and your stored fruits and vegetables are long gone, where do you get vitamin C? The answer is pine needle tea. And this isn't some modern survival hack. This is knowledge passed down from indigenous peoples who survived brutal winters for thousands of years. Here's the history. French explorer Jacques Cartier and his crew were dying of scurvy during the winter of 1536 in what is now Canada. The local Iroquois people showed them how to make tea from the bark and needles of white cedar and other evergreen trees. The crew recovered. Centuries later, we discovered why. Pine needles contain 4 to 5 times more vitamin C than fresh orange juice. To make it, gather a small handful of fresh pine needles from white pine, spruce, or fir trees. Avoid yew and ponderosa pine, which can be toxic. Chop the needles and steep them in hot water, not boiling, just hot, for 10 to 15 minutes. Strain and drink. The tea has a fresh, slightly citrusy, resinous flavor. You can add a bit of honey to make it tastier, or, if you're like me, a splash of maple syrup. This isn't just about preventing scurvy. Pine needle tea also contains antioxidants, vitamin A, and compounds that support respiratory health. It's a winter survival staple that grows year-round and costs you nothing. Learn to identify safe pine species in your area. Remember this remedy. When the oranges are gone and winter stretches on, this is how you stay healthy. We've covered 8 absolute essentials, plus a bonus winter lifesaver. From pain relief using a common tree bark, to cleaning deep wounds with ancient Egyptian wisdom, to getting vitamin C from the trees around you. You now have the knowledge to address the most common daily miseries and threats that will quickly become deadly problems when the system goes dark. Remember, every single one of these modern pharmaceutical solutions is a synthesized, highly concentrated version of something that existed naturally on this planet. When you learn how to use baking soda, salt, ginger, or cloves, not just as food items, but as medicinal tools, you make yourself less reliant on the fragile network of factories and distribution centers that could vanish tomorrow. Skills are the only stockpile that can never be stolen, and knowledge is the ultimate asset. If you're serious about protecting your family and your future, you need to understand the full scope of self-sufficiency. Because you can survive without a pill, but you cannot survive without food. If you want to know what to plant to feed yourself when the grocery shelves are empty, watch this video next. The 8 crops I'm planting now to survive the coming food collapse. Take care and see you there.